In the co-pilot seat. Hello and welcome to a special episode of Just Do It podcast. I'm Alex,
Eric.
my
This
co-pilot.
week we have a special podcast. I am
Yeah.
very well informed. It was debriefed.
hmm
Surely, 100%. I know what we're talking about. Alex, why don't you let the people know what we're doing this week?
So Bilo the hamster, he came to me, Eric, last weekend after his Bilo the hamster appreciation podcast, and he said, "Alex, you need another one of those multi-dollar ideas. I know that you and Eric, you keep coming up with good ones. I entrust you to invest all these do bucks in a new do company." And so I started Do Airlines, Eric. We are now the leading do airlines. We're flying through the ranks. All those other airlines crashed and burned, Eric. We're soaring like the Hindenburg.
The Hindenburg was great. Honestly, the Titanic of the skies, and that's what
Mhm.
we're here for.
Exactly.
That's large and in charge, and frankly unsinkable, undownable. We are riding such a high that we are uncancelable, Alex. We are so good at our podcasting ways that try to cancel us, I don't think you could.
Exactly. It's not going to happen. I figured our goal was to move into a niche market with the skyrocket prices of airlines. We can offer an affordable discount airline, Eric, where we take out all those extra frivolities, that the other airlines have, and we have just the cheapest flights.
Well, yeah, Alex. So legroom has always been a complaint among flyers. So we just got rid of it
Every time
completely.
I fly, I just have too much legroom.
Well, no. The point is people always complain about it. So why don't you just don't give it at all? We have seat to seat. Like once the seat cushion ends, it's just right into the seat in front of it. It's perfect. All of our yogis love it, and there's no legroom to complain about.
Right. We don't just have economy class, Eric. We have beggar class all the way in the back. It's inspired from the British railway design of having a car that just had a straw bedding on the bottom. You just put a legroom in there.
That's the same thing. There are no seats. It's just straw bedding back
No,
there,
it's
and
as they
that's also
say,
where we keep the
in the back,
livestock.
nuts to butts in the back. That's
Nuts to
what they say.
butts. But
You
yeah,
just
I think
back 'em in there.
and then
Eric,
of
I
course
wanted to know.
if you're worried about weight limits, don't be, because I don't know. I believe we have Pimp My Tractor
Well,
turbines on
actually,
these
Eric, all of
things.
our airplanes are rated for livestock, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, I want to know what destinations Do Airlines is going to be serving in the next month when we launch.
I believe that we fly out to middle of nowhere Mongolia.
Yep.
That's one of our big international flights. Very topical, and I don't know why other airlines aren't doing it, but we have a flight right over Kiev and Ukraine that
Yeah, we're trying to
it flies
save
pretty
fuel by
low.
flying. Yeah, exactly. We're trying to save fuel. On our Mongolian routes, we're offering a whole plethora of routes to Mongolia, and all of them fly low and slow right over Ukraine in an
Yeah.
attempt to just cut that straight line distance. We're talking from all of the famous places in Europe. Paris, it's like Paris, but 20 miles outside of the city, Paris. We're flying out of Zurich, Switzerland. We're flying out of where in Germany are we flying out of, Eric?
I believe we are flying out of Munchen.
Munchen,
Munchen.
absolutely. Mm-hmm. We have a
And
couple
then
flights.
we also have that one stop in Pyongyang, but we, strangely enough, no return flights out of there. That's just sort of the scrapyard that we leave any
Right.
planes that are deemed totaled, where the cost to keep them afloat, or at least pay off the FDA to allow us to fly them, or not the FDA. What's the air one?
Oh, our airplanes are rated by the FDA, Eric. That's how we passed all our inspections.
It's the
Food and Drug
livestock. It's the
Administration. Yeah,
livestock portion. But yeah, so
exactly.
we bribe those. And if the bribe is too much, if it's too much to bribe or too much to repair the plane for more than the plane's worth, then we got beautiful flights into Pyongyang.
That's true, Eric. Yeah. And Pyongyang is where our planes turn around if they're not allowed into the United States, and they fly back there, and then we just land them.
We just
We have
land
a
them and
beautiful flight from Hruge, Czechia, to the capital of Slovakia, Bratwurstia, and then it goes straight into Tbilisi, Georgia. Actually, and another one, low and slow, right off the Black Sea. You get beautiful views of the Crimean Peninsula, and our pilots will actually tell you where the charge of the Light Brigade happened.
wow, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey, that sounds pretty good to me.
All right, the Airlines and waste removal service. Oh, what do you think, Eric? I think it's a pretty good jingle.
I mean, I think it's beautiful. I mean, that really matches the slogan, "Do Airways." It goes. It goes for lows.
Yeah, so do Airways, it goes for lows. That's pretty good. See, because I was thinking what we could do, Eric, right here, is we could our primary source of making money would be waste removal, perhaps stuff that's too toxic to be dumped responsibly in the United States. We could just open the
Alex,
cargo bay doors.
do
Yeah.
you know where dumping is perfectly legal?
Most of the
International
Philippines,
waters.
international waters,
International waters,
and Vietnam.
baby.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Vietnam, no one checks. Come on. If they haven't found all the mines and
Hmm.
landmines, I think we're good.
Yeah. Exactly. So I was thinking we could definitely legally say we're taking care of all this stuff, and then just like open the bay doors somewhere between Honolulu and Taipei.
But I thought we also had people in the bay. I thought that was even lower than the scum class. I think that was just like, I don't even know what we called it, but it was a very derogatory term for the poor.
Oh yeah. I think we went into the British textbook for that one actually. Yeah. That one, those are free. We just let people on.
That's
And you
yeah,
have to
dude.
sign a waiver that says we're not
That's the
responsible for any
vagrant.
of their
That
cancer, or that their
or
destination may change at any time. But those are just extra free. I think it's called stowage class, Eric.
that sounds about right.
Hmm.
Of course, internally we said we gave it a classier name that people wouldn't recognize as stowage, but yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I think it's going to be a good business. I'm really excited. Bilo the hamster, our executive producer, he told me that the Albanians in of all places, um,
Vermont, US
Moreland,
of A.
Moreland, Oklahoma, actually had a
Oh, of course.
ton of perfectly legal things they needed to get rid of, and so we have a lucrative contract with them.
Nice, love to hear it.
Yep. Also, he said, he was able to hook me up with some business deals in Medford, Oregon. Okay. You'll never guess what we're moving in Medford, Oregon. Eric.
Honestly, I'm not gonna say it. I don't know if Bilo would want us to say it because we are moving. We're moving people. That's for one, but we're also moving that other thing.
Well, Eric, I mean, Sasquatch aren't people.
Well, okay. I thought I was a little worried about the Sasquatch trade. I thought it was still not allowed by the North American Free Trade Agreement, but
Oh, yeah. NAFTA, it's super illegal, mostly because it turns out Canada wants to protect their natural squatch population, and they're worried about mangy American squatch being introduced into Canada.
That
It
is
was a
very
sticking
true.
point in NAFTA, actually.
What else is there? Well, I mean, we're also doing that whole big curling stone trade.
Oh yeah, right. Well, we on the return trip, we we smuggle in curling stones for ballast. You see, on our airplanes.
Alex, I mean that's really important because if you don't have ballast, you aren't able to properly be at level at the dock, and then like getting on and off is just way too hard.
Oh, I know. We cheaped out on your standard airport like mating things for the airplanes, and we just have planks, which is again a cost saving measure for our customers. You
I
can
mean,
see more
also
airfares as
none of
high as $37.
that. I mean, that's the thing is like our landing gear. We cut costs by cutting landing gear, and instead just putting in like enough drag that it works out. Like we slow
Yeah.
down, like it
Mhm.
it works out. Don't worry about it. But wheels, no way. Those are way too expensive for our planes.
Well, one of the things we're actually contractually obligated to properly dispose of is lead blocks, and we just use those as landing gear. And when you come in on the pavement, you see the lead shears off into a fine powder, which not only lubricates the runway, but also brings the airplane to a silky smooth stop.
Well, yeah,
So,
Alex. I mean, of course. Also, the way that we throw those lead blocks off the back, it really just it speeds up the aircraft in a way, and like we start to rise because we're ditching so much weight so fast.
well, Eric, again, we can't dump those into freshwater ponds, otherwise, Fish and Game will get upset with us.
Fishing game, more like schmish and shame. That's what I always say.
Oh, you could have said swish and lame, which would have been better.
Nah, but I didn't. And here we are. Talking
Yeah.
about do airs, baby. Nothing better. The flying. Oh my gosh, it's just
What was
great.
that, Bilo? Yeah, cut Doc Eric's pay. Yeah, good point. All right, sounds good. Thanks, Bilo. Anyway,
Hey,
do
Bilo.
Airlines. You're gonna have to sell this thing big, Eric, because this is how we're making back those do bucks.
I know.
I
Well,
heard
I'm
that
pretty
you were
sure we're
gonna
making back our
pen.
do bucks from cutting my pay, it sounds like. But
Well, yeah, it depends. This is our bonus. Our bonuses are all invested in Do Airlines, and I heard that you were gonna sell the world on Do Airlines with a heroic new Do Airlines logo. So can you describe with some visual poetry what that looks like, Eric?
well, Alex, I actually have the logo right here. It's see, I have it in my hands right now for all of our video listeners where you
Yep.
can see our video. Doesn't it look beautiful?
Oh wow. Yeah, I
Well,
really like what you did with the light blue.
so the colors, just the contrast of the light blue and the like crimson red, like I had to go to so many different like painters for this. Like I believe this green here has never been created before. It is a specific Do Airlines sort of color.
So what's really tripping me up, Eric, is it even possible to describe the contorted face of the kangaroo? I mean, I'm not.
Well,
What emotion
Alex,
are you going for there?
basically everything that you can imagine in an airway is contained in this picture. So we have the complexities of the travel, the freeingness of the spirit. When you look at this logo, you really see, and of course, all of our video watchers are definitely like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh, this is
of
just
course.
spoken to me
I
because
mean, it's
you
pretty
have the
obvious.
freeness, you have the
Yeah,
like technological advancements. It speaks to human character. It's the same sort of thing that I bet our some of our older listeners may remember. Like seeing um I don't know which one it was. I'm blanking on that one. I'm not doing too
yeah.
great. It
So
wasn't
Eric, the
Challenger. It wasn't Challenger, but that famous
yeah,
spaceship with the
Columbia.
guys that
Yeah,
walked on the moon. Oh yeah, like
yeah.
no, not the Columbia either.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, so one of those
Apollo 1,
Apollos.
maybe.
I think Apollo 13 sounds about
Oh,
right.
all right. Yeah, that's another good one. See, Eric, again, our video listeners, really, I think they just have the one question, which is
Why are the
kangaroo
wings?
punching Abraham
Well,
Lincoln. Is that a sucker punch, or did like Abraham
jab,
Lincoln see it
Alex,
coming?
Alex. That's a jab. He saw it come. Did you not see
Okay,
him
okay.
square up? But
Because it wouldn't. I mean, a sucker punch isn't freedom.
I was going to say there's also subliminal messaging in here that
Yeah,
says bye bye bye. You need this. Do Airways is the best. All other airways are trash, which like very subtly are in there. And then
it's
also
laser etched in the dollar signs on Abraham that make up Abraham Lincoln's eyes.
that is true. Well, Abraham Lincoln, that's why he's on the $5 bill.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But um, um it's ironic because we also have a little, really it's one of those things that the longer you look at, the more you're just like this is everything and anything of the known universe fits into
Yeah.
there.
I really like what you did, that like FedEx style design where there's the hidden arrow in the FedEx logo. Again, for the video listeners, I'm gonna point you to the lower left hand
Oh, yep.
portion of
See,
the
he's
logo.
highlighting it. He's highlighting it with his laser
Yeah,
pointer right
it's
now.
probably too graphic to describe in podcast form, but the simplicity with which you executed that is frankly astounding, Eric.
Well, Alex, I'm see that sort of crude little remark, which of course is only for our adult listeners, but of course the younger generation is attracted to it, sort of a little sneakily. But I was
Hmm.
going to say,
Hmm.
I personally am proud of how the plane design that I have has very round wings, so it's sort of one of those things that doesn't look phallic in any nature whatsoever. That just, if you see that, you're wrong. But it symbolizes how, like, the way that we see the world is not so cut edge. Everything has purpose, shape,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
definitely no resemblance of genitals in any way.
Right, and of course the peach fuzz um,
Those are
on
those
the
are those
logo,
are the streamlines. Um,
aerodynamic streamline. That's what I was going to say to show
yep.
the how quickly we're progressing into the future here at Do Airlines. Well, Eric,
And Alex, I will say,
yeah,
maybe I see a little bit of resemblance in the cockpit area. So the cockpit is it's a it's an interesting sort of take on a modern airship, but
yeah,
I believe artistically it's very it just speaks to the listener, which of course is the viewer. And similar to this podcast, we have just as much audio influence as we do visual
that's
influence.
true.
And that's why
So,
this new logo, it speaks to all your senses, especially smell. It's a scratch and sniff. Boom. I know you guys are into this.
now I didn't know you were going to release a scratch and sniff on podcast form, Eric.
Hmm.
That's pretty meta.
Yep.
So here's the thing: everyone already knows that we're saving tons of money by combining downed Russian aircraft, the power
Hmm.
plants from those,
Oh,
with
bet.
737s the Malaysian Airlines didn't want in order to bring you only the safest of aircraft. How do you
Alex,
reassure our
don't
listeners that our aircraft are airworthy, Eric?
Alex,
Besides, obviously, the FDA seal of cooked to perfection, sizzle and authority.
butcher certified, you know it.
Correct.
Um,
Certified lean.
Alex, I gotta say, so we only picked the finest of balls out of the scrapyard, all right? We have
Yeah.
a team of expert welders, and let's just say, sure, they might be a little, anything that's unsafe, like we properly dispose of in either the ocean or Pyongyang. It's okay. Um, we we love the environment. All of our flights are environmentally safe. FDA approved and USDA certified lean.
Hmm.
And that, like, come on. We have Pimp My Tractor boys working on our holes, working on our engines. There's nothing that isn't shining to perfection and welded to such high quality that you would see out of Slovenian crazy hillbillies.
Exactly. Every weld in your Do Airlines airplane has been hand welded artisanally in small batches by Slovenians that we pay
I will say,
exorbitant rates.
I do have to be honest to our listeners. We do outsource our pilots, so I cannot assure that every pilot will provide the same level of care and quality on the ride. I know that one crazy dude loves just finding all the turbulence and throwing it around, trying to get as many G's as possible. He was a little crazy, and obviously we couldn't fire him because he was the best damn pilot this country has ever seen. Thank you for your service, Colonel.
Thank you for your service, Crazy
Luna
Larry.
Balls.
Who is it?
It's Luna Balls.
Oh, Larry Ludavalls, right. Crazy Larry Ludavalls, the greatest pilot to ever fly in the U.S. Air Force. Thank you for your service. Bless up, and we appreciate the fact that you...
Alex, you're right. He actually flew in the Coast Guard.
Oh, you're right. I'm so sorry. To fly in the Coast Guard.
He's a Coast Guard war veteran, so thank you for your service.
Discharged.
No honor was on that one.
3 Purple Hearts in the Coast Guard. Who would have thunk? All right, Eric, we got to do some sponsorship deals here. So Bilo the hamster knows that just because we're offering dirt cheap rates for both garbage disposal and airlines doesn't mean that we don't need some hot slamming sponsy deals. So what are we gonna plaster on the sides of our Just Do It Airlines in order to raise money, in order to get even more cash injected into this upstart company? How do we
so
get
this
these
is coming. We have one sponsor. It comes from a private donor. I'm not entirely sure what they're advertising, but it just says property of North Korea. This one is for Kim Jong-un. We love North Korea. Power be to him.
This one is coming from a big roller up in New Jersey. Actually, it's Guido's stuff be gone. You gotta make something go gone. Talk to Guido. Guido's stuff be gone. So, I think we have a lucrative partnership with them. So they're gonna be on the airplane. They're paying us some pretty good money for that.
We also have the world's famous Mongolian kebab shop, only the largest, hottest chain in Mongolia, which sells most definitely horse meat kebabs. That's their top seller. But go get your horse meat kebab at Mongolian Kebab House.
Much like some of our aircraft, coal powered. So go to Mongolian Kebab House. All of our in beverage and food services are provided by Big Rose. Don't worry, the juice box is full of nutrients, even for your 5-year-old Eric. Oh no, it's a PR nightmare again.
Yeah, Alex, I don't know if we can do that. I heard
I don't. They gotta be at least 11.
Yeah, it's scary.
I'm not sure. I think we're gonna have to also offer homegrown hops on the airplanes, Eric. That's the only way we're gonna get past the regulators.
Homegrown hops is a sponsor. I mean, all of our actual. We have a few privatized airstrips ourselves, which of course are part of the hop fields. So homegrown hops has been gracious to donate some to us, some land.
Cascade, Galaxy, etc. All right, Eric. Well, this has been Just Do It, a Dewey Brothers podcast. Thanks for podding with me. Everyone go out and get your Do Airlines super cheap tickets where you're treated as good as cattle. Legally
you're treated all right. We aren't going to say how you're treated, but you're treated. Maybe for some diseases because
processed with chemicals.
I was going to say we are FDA approved, so we have to make sure all of our
That's true.
cattle is vaccinated. So that may occur on the flight if you're aware of it or not.
All right. Thank you. This has been Just Do It, a Dewey Brothers podcast, the Do Airlines edition. I'm Alex.
I'm Eric.
And for the love of God, man,
just send it. Bilo, I understand that you're strapped for cash, but come on, man. I need these bucks. How else am I going to be able to buy more Mighty Beans?